Welcome back to Upper Michigan today. Unfortunately, baby Saul had to make it to his 9 to 5, so he had to go. I'm just joking here. We're back with Melinda, Kristen, and Lacey talking about doula care and what you, a mom-to-be, might experience under their services. So I see a baby doll, I see a pelvis, and I see what looks like an inflatable tubby or something. So where do we start? So are we starting with the pelvis?
Yeah. So I'm just going to put this baby in here.
Okay, so is that the baby
So this is the baby.
Sack?
Yep, baby's about to go in the sack, and this is the placenta. So membranes around the baby. Okay.
Oh, so are we doing a science lesson here?
Oh, getting weird.
Anatomy.
Okay, just a little weird.
Okay.
Anatomy and physiology. So this is actually connected to the uterus, and the uterus. Just one second, sorry.
Oh, we have a big one?
Oh, we got a little, so the uterus is normally about the size of a pear, and then it goes to like about here. So it's really wild, right? Okay, so baby is in the uterus, and baby has to make its way through the pelvis. So there's different stations of the pelvis. So right here is called the inlet of the pelvis. So when baby is at the inlet or higher up in the pelvis, we recommend, if you guys wanna, so go ahead and take your hands. So tuck your tail in, like, yep, there you go.
Just like that.
And then like lifting the belly, because what's happening is you're actually lifting baby into that pelvis.
Kind of scooping them up.
Yeah, scooping baby.
Up and in.
Up and in.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Kristen is gonna talk about the mid-pelvis, which you might wanna.
Yeah. So the pelvis, first of all, it's a bony structure, right? But it's got joints to it. So you have the sacroiliac joint, you have the pubic symphysis, the pelvis moves. And so in order to move the pelvis, we move our bodies, right? And so we do, as doulas, we recommend different movement patterns to work through. It's good to practice them during your pregnancy and not just try to pull them out during labor, because your brain is not, it's not in its full functioning form during labor.
I don't know that you're necessarily calm and thinking about these techniques.
You're not thinking logically.
Yeah.
There's not access to the logical brain. So if you've practiced them in your pregnancy, then you're able to like pull out. It's a more intuitive thought process than during birth. So like Melinda was saying about the pelvic inlet, we'll offer different positions that your body can do to encourage baby into the inlet. And then it comes into mid-pelvis. So that is this portion in here. And oftentimes you'll hear, sometimes if you're in labor, your doctor assesses, you know, you have a cervical exam and they're like, oh, baby's at -2 station. So -2, we're still pretty high up in the pelvis. That's still pelvic inlet area that we're working with. And then, you know, if they say, oh, baby's at -1 or 0 station, that's when we're talking about mid-pelvis. Mid-pelvis is pretty narrow in here. You can see if baby's head is at mid-pelvis.
Yeah.
The way to get something wide is a more asymmetrical movement of the pelvis. So at that point, we usually are recommending some sort of lunge with the face. So if you wanted to try it, we can all try it together. So if we come down into a lunge, and you have, you know, 90 degrees in the back knee, 90 degrees in the front knee. And then again, that same tucking of the tailbone. So you're thinking of bringing your pubic bone up toward your nose and then shifting your hips forward just a little bit. And then this asymmetrical move is actually shifting the pelvis asymmetrically. And then a nice little stretch that you can do if you're feeling tightness in the low back. This is a nice one for during pregnancy, especially because the low back tends to lock up a little bit. You can even reach your arm up and over. So you'll have the arm on the side that the leg is down. So the knee, switch your arms, there you go. And reaching toward the bent knee side.
Yeah. We like to think of it as almost like moving through molasses.
Yeah.
So Kristen and Katie and I just finished something called the Body Ready Pro method. So like Body Ready method, but we're all pros for that. So this is a lot of what we learned, you know, in that training. So a lot of it has to do with that alignment of the body and finding that almost like this balance front to back, what's lengthened, what's shortened. And we use that throughout the pregnancy to help like ideally facilitate like a smoother, you know, birth, and like Kristen said, encouraging those movements during and then into the birth. And then we also have that training in the postpartum as well. Kristen also does like prenatal yoga and everything. So we're all like, we can do it. And Kristen's like, okay, cool, I got
Everybody,
it.
let's try.
Like,
So these, like Melinda was saying, the Body Ready method kind of gives us more tools for our toolbox, essentially. So looking at movement patterns of people during their pregnancy, kind of understanding even what their day-to-day looks like is going to inform how their holding patterns are in their body, so we can work with them in their prenatal period, so that way there's more freedom, more balance in the body. So baby can navigate that pelvis a little bit easier, because then we're gonna come to the pelvic outlet, and this is a really great tool that Lacey has that can actually help with the pelvic outlet. So the pelvic outlet is this area between the sit bones and the ischial tuberosities. So we want to widen that outlet. And when we think of that, we're thinking of like an internal rotation of the femur. So think of rolling your knees together,
So you guys
feet
can
wide.
feel it.
So I don't know, Lacey, if you wanted to demonstrate.
Bring your knees kind of together. You can feel your
Yeah.
sits bones.
Disney knees is,
Disney
is what us Gen Z
like
called it.
Yes.
Yeah. The Jonas Brothers, you know, when they're saying,
Oh,
you know what I'm talking
okay.
about?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of those songs.
I'm too young for you. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
She knows Disney knees.
So so bring your Disney knees, and then it widens
Your
those
sit
sits
bones.
Do you
Okay.
feel that?
Yeah.
Do you feel the widening back there? And then bring it together. Do it one more time. Oh, here we
And
go.
it narrows.
Or we call it the
Yeah.
time warp.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So with that, you can think of like a seated position, which I know that the Cub has a lot of cool positions that you can do, but this is a nice one for like seated if you're sitting on almost like a birth stool, and then you can take your ankles apart and knees together. So that is something, I don't know, Lacey, if you wanted to do some demonstrations with this.
Yeah, how would you use this with your
So,
clients?
We're going to start off by saying this is cup. This is comfortable upright birthing. This just helps you get into so many different positions. You can even use this with an epidural. So it still helps you get into all of those movements with medication.
So you can bring this to the hospital with you?
Absolutely, and we've got a couple hospitals in the UP that actually supply these for the patients. So this is something I bring along to every single birth with me. There are many, many different positions labeled right on the ball to get into. You can get into like a deep squat, you can use it for side lying, you can have partner support, even doing like picking up your belly for you. You can do the lunges while being supported, so you don't have to hold your upper body up. You can use this for that. The nice thing is that this comes in 2 inflations, so you can drop it down, so you're getting a nice deep squat, or sit on it like a birth stool and be a higher up. So there's a lot of great ways that this can help you and just help you feel more supported, trying to get into all the fun different positions.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, so we can pick up this discussion, continue talking about it. We want to talk about some resources as well, some childbirth education classes. We still have more to cover. We have to take another commercial break. We're going to do that and come right back here.